You gotta stop burdening your future self with today's work. You gotta stop stacking the workload for you tomorrow from the work that you should have done today. It's so easy to push back what we know we have to do and what we know we gotta do and like kind of procrastinate it. But what you don't realize you're doing is you're just giving your future self more work, more tasks to do, a bigger headache, bro. You're basically just giving yourself a bigger headache in the future. Look at that moon, bro. Oh, you can't see it anymore. You're basically just giving yourself a bigger workload. Now imagine someone that wasn't you. Imagine someone just like procrastinated his own work and like stacked another huge pile of work on top of what you already have to do. Like he did that to you. And now you have to do twice the amount of work because he was too lazy to hold up his part. Say it's like a group project at school or something, because I know that's like relatable for everyone. What you don't realize is that it's basically what you're doing to yourself, right? When you procrastinate something and just push it on to the next day, you're just stacking up work for your future self without even realizing it. And it compounds to the point where you have this huge amount of work to do and you just look at this huge pile of stuff and it's so overwhelming to the point where just looking at it feels like work, yeah? I can't be the only one. And so you need to realize every time you procrastinate something, every time you cheat something, every time you have something on your to-do list for the day and you don't do it, you have to realize you're stealing happiness, you're stealing time, and most of all, you're stealing energy and life from your future self. Because what is time and energy really? What is time really? If you really think about it, time is your life. Your life is only made of seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years. So when you give your future self more tasks to do, more work to do, you give your future self a bigger workload, a bigger stressor. Now you have to worry about all these different things because you didn't do it. You're stealing life from your future self, not to mention the stress that it causes. Not to mention, like, it's just like, why would you willingly do that to a person that you love? You would never. And yet you do it to yourself all the time. I don't really understand why. But for some reason, like for us, it's so natural, right? Like I know you need to hear this probably, like this is as much as of a message to myself as it is to you. And if you struggle with this, which I know you do, I see it in your eyes, bro, then this is for you. So a lot of times it's so easy to kind of be like, make excuses, right? Like for me personally, I make the excuse like, oh, I'm young, right? Okay, just be a kid, right? Let myself enjoy, like, okay, I'm just gonna listen to music and chill for a bit, or I'm gonna watch this movie with my sister or family or whatever. Let yourself be a kid, right? That's one of the excuses that I make. And while sometimes it may be valid, a lot of times I do use it as like a cope, as in like, oh, I have time, I can do it later or whatever. I never do it later, let's be honest, bro. Or like you say, oh, I can study tomorrow, my exam is like next week, I can just put it off and put it off and put it off and put it. Guess what, bro? The exam is basically tomorrow at this point. When you keep putting it off like that, your exam is basically today, bro. When you keep putting off studying, when you keep putting off, I don't know, chores or whatever errands that you have to run, you keep putting it off. You're stacking work for your future self. And a rule that I really love to live by and that I really need to start implementing into my life soon or else I'm not gonna survive is this. We as in like the relationship with you and yourself. A lot of times we need to use like the term we and like yourself as like a plural or like multiple people because you have different sides to yourself, which I'll get into later. But we never, ever burden our future self with today's work and stress. We will always sacrifice present comfort now for our future self. How much comfort are you willing to sacrifice for your future self? Because the degree of discomfort, dissatisfaction, and pain that you are willing to endure now for the sake of your future self is the sole determiner of how happy and how fulfilled and how gratifying your future life can become. Because soon enough, you are going to become that guy, right? You're going to become your future self very soon enough. The time will pass by anyway. Don't bullshit yourself and say, hey, okay, like it's gonna take too long, right? Oh, it's gonna take too long. Like building an aesthetic physique is gonna take too long. Oh, getting good with like my social skills is gonna take too long. Building this business, it's gonna take too long. Bro, the time will pass by anyway. Regardless of whether you do the action or not, the time will pass by regardless. So it's just really, if you think about it, a matter of whether you do the thing or not. No one cares, but you want the result anyway. So is time gonna be on your side or not? And it's your choice. No one can decide that for you, bro. And so going back to the point where you have multiple sides to you, right? One day you can wake up, I don't know, you feel extremely energized and motivated. You want to attack the day, right? Like actually attack the day and like squeeze every drop of progress that you can get out of it. Some days you just wake up feeling that way, like naturally, right? And those are good days. And then you have other days where you just wake up and it's like cold outside, it's foggy, it's kind of like rainy and misty outside, and you don't want to go outside. Like your bed feels so good and you don't want to get out. You have a long list of things to do today. You told yourself last night that you were gonna get a lot of things done, but the bed just feels so damn good, bro. I don't know. I have this so many times, and you probably have too. So you need to realize that there are multiple versions of you. Who you are is like dependent on so many factors that you don't even realize, and your certain personality traits and like traits of who you are and who you've become as a person are influenced by not just like your diet, like your mood, your health, your environment, like all these different factors that some in your control, some out of your control, bring out certain sides of you, right? Like let's say last night you went to a party, got drunk as heck, and then the next day you're hungover. Of course you're not going to get any work done, but that's just one side of you. Let's say the night before, instead of going to that party, you decided to, okay, I'm gonna sleep early, I'm gonna eat early, so I can give my body rest, and then the next day I'll wake up, I'll feel focused, energized, and I'll be ready to attack the day. Just one factor, one little switch like that, and then it brings out a completely different side of you. It doesn't mean you're a different person. It doesn't mean you necessarily lack motivation or discipline or aren't ambitious enough. You've just brought out another side of yourself, right? So there are always sides of us that are extremely disciplined, that gets work done no matter how difficult it is. And then another side that we're like, bro, what is happening to me? Like, I'm just going through all these bad habits step after, like one at a time. And I'm doing all these terrible things where like, I don't know, I feel like I'm in a rut right now. I can't get anything done. I just keep procrastinating. I keep snapping back to my old bad habits. I don't see myself as this hardworking individual anymore. You have to realize it's about the different sides of you that you pull out, and that these things are influenced by many factors that are outside of your control, sure, but there are factors that you can control, like sleep, like your health, going to the gym, get those endorphins in your bloodstream, bro, like meditation, improving your focus, journaling, gratitude journaling, being grateful for your life so that you're in a more happy mood throughout the day. I do this every morning. I literally write down 2 to 3 things that I'm grateful for every single morning before I do anything else. And then immediately, like throughout the day, I'm just more grateful, and it becomes a habit. Like I walk around, I see like a cool light, or I see like a cool like lamp over there, like damn, that's pretty cool. I love the ambience and how it makes where I live feel like the vibe is really clean, the vibe is really nice. Just you feel happier and more grateful throughout the day, and just that one little habit just makes me more productive because I'm happier, right? I feel more fulfilled slightly. Little things can stack up, good habits can stack up, but so can bad habits, and they stack up incrementally, right? Exponentially. And so you don't realize like the power that you actually have and how much in control you really are over your mood. And you don't have to leave it up to these external factors like, did I get a good night's sleep, or I don't know. It's all up to you, man. But you need to know that it is in your control, and you have no one else to blame but yourself if you don't feel like working that day, if you don't feel like you're up to par, if you don't feel at least 90%, because let's be honest, you can never be 100%. The best athletes, they never play at 100%. The best entrepreneurs, they don't work at 100%. But you at least need to maximize your potential for the day and your work output. And so where was I going with this? I kind of went on a tangent. Oh yeah, another way to kind of like lock in and be productive regardless of how you feel is, and like not make sure like you don't stack that workload for your future self, is to set like a timetable, literally like an autistic step by step, hour by hour, maybe even minute by minute timetable of everything that you're gonna do throughout the day. Make sure you keep it like slightly flexible, and like don't beat yourself up about it if you don't follow it completely. But if you just make a timetable for yourself, like in school, you make a timetable for yourself. This block, I'm gonna do this. Like for me right now, it's 9 p.m. That's my recording timetable. After this, I have reading timetable. After that, I have like wind down, go to bed timetable. Things like that. And then tomorrow morning, straight thing, I have like gym timetable. And that's worked so well for me to get out of a rut. Like if you've been watching me, you know I've been in a bit of a rut lately. Like I haven't been feeling like going to the gym at all, or like making progress, or eating well, or I just been feeling like I've been a shadow and a shell of myself. And if you feel that way, it's about time you start taking action. Doing something as simple as setting deadlines for yourself or setting a timetable for yourself will help you immensely, because you get like to see physically, or even you can write it on your phone. You get to see visually what you need to get done for the day. And it's like a progress tracker for how much you have to get through. And when I just follow that, and I don't have to think of what productive thing to do, I don't have to think of like what work to do. I don't have to think of anything. I just follow it. I just take action. And when you just take action, you boom, one win over, like you complete something, boom, I get a small win. I get some psychological momentum, right? And then boom, another thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. And then soon enough, you're like, okay, what next? What do I have to get done next? And then it's so easy. It just becomes easy. This is how you make hard work easy, bro. It's momentum. You stack small wins, especially if you can stack it early in the day, like gratitude journaling, writing down 2-3 things that you can be grateful for. And it'll just change your day completely. And once you make it a habit, it'll start to change your life. So as always, I have a free Telegram, first link in the description. You should join. It's basically free advice and daily lessons that I learned. If you want to hear more from me, as always, subscribe. It's a win-win for both of us. Get after it.